Very remiss of me on the last visit to the plot. I never did my square metre of path, so a bit of catching up to do today. I think I'm going to do a couple. Who knows, I might even make it down to the end. And it's pretty dry, but it comes up okay. And of course, now that I've cut the grass, it makes it that much easier. So I might make the most of that. I really am moving on with the path organisation, and yeah, I think it's going to save me a lot of work. Right, let's go. It's made some good progress, and I know a lot of people have commented previously, if I wanted to remove the grass, why didn't I just lay something on top, mulch, membrane, any number of things. Well, the reality is I need to get the level down on this stretch of path because I want it to be seamless in terms of running into the other paths, and this is a bit higher, this ground, so I need to take it down just 3 or 4 inches. So taking the turf off the top stops that weed growing process imminently and also takes a bit of the level out, and I still need to work at the level. When I've done all this, I'll spend an hour or so just getting things perfectly level before I start thinking about what I'm going to put on top. Right, I think I'm going to go and have a look at these shallots. I said I was going to do them yesterday, but I never got round to it, and they definitely are at the point where they need to be pulled out and dried off. I'll show you. Right, let's see what we have got. Take this net off. I still get people ask me why I have all my crops netted, and I completely understand that question, but it's because of the rather large population of cats which like to use all these beds as litter trays if I don't do something to prevent them. So that's the reason. And of course, the environment mesh is fantastic for stopping pests. These, not so much. A little bit of butterfly prevention. Right, so these have all fallen over now, and I'm interested to see whether they've fallen over because of white rot or because they're ready. And immediately I can tell it's white rot, and you can see the white sort of almost like a fungal growth on the bottom, and the roots are so stunted. There's a normal root, and these are all not in very good condition, and they might not all be like that, but I will assume there's going to be a fair amount. And I've also had people say, why am I digging white rot infested tops into all of the beds or some of the beds, and that is to try and get that white rot to, well, just hit its peak early and then die off, and that enables the onions to be grown without being infected. At least I've had some success with that. That one's a bit stunted, but not too much evidence of white rot. Same, definitely got white rot on there. That one's had it. So I'm going to work my way through these. That one's a bit better, not perfect. I'll work my way through these and see what we've got at the end. That's the bed clear. I've pulled out a few of the customary mare's tail, but we'll just get that one raked over in a minute. So let me show you. It's not bad actually. I've got a reasonable crop of these Zebrun shallots, and they're nice size. And I think those will store. I'm going to store them in our garage at home because it's like an oven at the moment, very warm, so it's a good place. And these were the ones definitely attacked by white rot, and you can see that they are also a little bit smaller, so lots of telltale signs. Right, I'll get them together separately. I think I'll chop the tops off of these and they'll be easy to move, and those I'll move in one piece over to the garage so that they can dry out. Well, that worked out well, and now I've got the same level going in here, and I'm thinking that I might get away with just covering this piece rather than digging it out. I need to put some fill into the edge, I think. But when you come around here now, I got a reasonably flat surface. I've got much more work to do down there. I'm going to clear out all my ironwork and do something similar down there. But hopefully, if I can get a reasonably flat surface, then I can cover it with membrane, keep some of the weed from growing through. And well, that's the plan. See how we get on. But certainly better and make good use of the grass. So I've had a bit of a cunning plan. I've been thinking about what I can grow over in that area where the weed ingress is, well, continual. Let me show you what I mean. So I've done no end of things to this area, and people on their channel are always observing that I always have problems with these beds. So I've given it a good crack, and still the weed ingress is significant. So what I'm thinking is to level this, completely level it, bring it out a bit, and then cover it. And I'm going to move my potatoes from over there and bring them down here and settle them in this area as the seasons go on. I won't be fighting that continual weed ingress all summer long, and that will drive me also to get this bit sorted out. So plans developing for this area, some of it winter work, but we'll see how we go. Probably let the sprouts grow on before I do anything, if they are going to grow on. And of course the purple sprouting broccoli, I can do everything that side and then work into there, perhaps in February. But yeah, definitely got plans to do something more productive in this area, and moving the potatoes seems like a fix. I tell you what I noticed today. There are so many signs of the season changing. Come and have a look at these. As soon as you start to see the mildew appearing on the squash and pumpkins, you know that, well, things are moving towards autumn. And I noticed today, well, there's a few rhubarb plants that are just, you know, single stems and really beginning to fail. And that's a sure sign too. A couple of others over here. Take a look. Well, my smaller berry trees, this is a red currant. There's a little bit of fruit hanging on in there, but a lot of it is dried and shriveled. The leaves are yellowing and dropping. You can see an awful lot of the more stems inside the bush than leaves at this point in time. And of course, when it comes to gooseberries, they were wrecked by sawfly, and ironically they've started to come back and leaf up, but they too will be dropping an awful lot of leaves pretty soon. There are some bare stems in here for sure. One other sign I've got is over on the other side of the plot. I'll show you. Well, my coriander really has had it now. It's started to flower. There's no real leaves on it that can be used. They still smell great, but there's no volume to any of the leaves, so they're not really good for using in cooking now. And you can see here one or two of the seeds starting to form, and they of course can be saved. And I might just leave these plants here and see if I can save a bit of coriander. It certainly looks as though it's going to be worth saving. It's developing already. So yeah, things are moving on, and well, we're just on the cusp of September, and we'll soon be feeling colder mornings. It certainly is getting colder in the mornings right now. Well, Mrs. K's been picking blackberries, so it's going to be blackberry and apple tarts, pies, maybe just stewed. But it's a good time to get these apples off. I've had one or two fallers, but they're a really nice size now. So I'm going to gather these And there are just one or two on here that are really sort of pinky blush on them, but that's not bad for a small tree. I'm going to pick some of these down here as well. It always amazes me how a young tree like this manages to have a reasonable crop. Look at that, fantastic. Right, onto the bigger tree. Well, the order is for a dozen. I think I'm going to take a couple of these. There's some bigger ones at the top, but I think it's a ladder job to get up there. So I think we'll have some of these lower ones. I just need another two, I think. Let's have those in there. There we go. Good times. Well, that certainly looks like blackberry and apple tart to me. Can't wait. Well, it's warmed up some. I think it's time to go in for a bit of lunch. Can't seem to walk off the plot these days without just a load of produce, which is absolutely fantastic. So we've got apples and blackberries, we've got shallots for drying, and we've got shallots for using fairly rapidly. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, then why not like and subscribe? You can get my uploads every Wednesday and Sunday at 8 PM. Hope you've had a good day. Good times.